We have a bee swarm. You hear it? You see all the bees there? They kind of look like they're not moving, which may mean that they're beginning to settle somewhere on a branch. I'm not really prepared to catch a swarm. I do have some boxes and stuff. I'm kind of in the middle of the swarm now. It's up high though. It's over my head. One of them just ran into me. Every once in a while, a bunch of bees will leave the hive and they go find a new home. It really looks like they're thinking about settling in this tree, but I can't see a spot yet where they're concentrated. And if they are, that's like pretty much too high for me to get them. Sometimes they land on young fruit trees and fruit tree branches in general, which I have one right there. I just made a video right there yesterday. Like there's this plum tree and then there's just fruit trees all out here. So wasn't this cool? Standing in the middle of a bee swarm. Okay, there, right there. I think they're gonna swarm on that plum tree right there, which would be perfect. I can totally get them right there. They haven't started landing yet, but they're really, really massing around that tree. Go for it. They like that plum tree. Come on, stick around, guys. Okay, well, if they land right here, I'm gonna have to go figure out a box. Sometimes they'll stay there for a long time, and sometimes just a few minutes, and you gotta kind of rush. I've definitely missed them before when I could have got them. Yeah, don't land on me. I ain't the one. It almost looks like they're gonna go for the stem of that tree right there. They're starting to land a little, but the majority have moved off in this direction a little bit too. Ooh, this is so cool. Okay, now they're landing really fast, you see? That's turning into a decent sized swarm. I know this is a real wide angle lens, but I'm about 6 feet, even 5 feet. And yeah, I'm not really worried about them attacking me. More like one might fly in my mouth or up my shirt or something. I tuck my shirt in. They're not aggressive. When they're swarming, they're pretty much single-minded. So that's probably the vast majority, like at least 9/10 of them. My face is about 2 feet away right now. I think I'm gonna go work on finding something to put these guys in. All my bee boxes are pretty messed up, so I'm not really sure how to do that. I may just get basically something together that they would want to live in and just set it up right here, like with the entrance right at the swarm right there, and just see if they'll move into it. So I need to think about that a little bit. Super neat. All right, I'm gonna go look for something. So I have these tubs right here. I use them for soaking hides and willow for basketry and all kinds of sticks and other stuff like that. They're part of an old solar panel array of a really specific kind. But anyway, I have a bunch of these and I've been actually thinking about how could I repurpose some of these for beehives. They're pretty big, like they're bigger than they really need to be for a top bar hive, which is a hive with just a bunch of sticks laid across this way, and then the bees just build their comb right off of those sticks. And so it's real versatile because you can just move the sticks around, take them out completely, replace them. And it's easier and cheaper to build than a frame hive that has like a square box with actual wooden frames that you have to fit wax into and stuff like that. So I'm going to take a close look at those. They're just about the shape that most people would make a top bar hive. This one right here is really smashed up, so I could like cut it. Dang, like screw a piece of plywood on there, and then all I need is like some wooden pieces to go across, a plywood cover, and I can improve it later after that. It's 2:05 right now. Let's see how fast we can turn this into a beehive. This might be a little too rigid to cut with these. I just cut this with a skill saw. Hopefully it won't scare the bees away. I definitely want some hearing protection and goggles for this job. Is this a metal cutting blade? Nope. You got any pliers? Where's the pliers? It's an ancient pair of vice grips. It's kind of a slow way to do this, but I don't have to go find anything. I should be measuring some of this. If I get this done in time before they leave, my next question is, do I try to get them in there, like put on a bee suit. You know, I gotta go look for that crap. I don't know where it is. I could probably rig up like a net for my head if I need to, but I might just go without. Okay, now I need 2 pieces of plywood and some cross sticks, but I really do need to hurry. So this looks real good on this side, on the bottom, but here it comes out too much. We need to flatten out this bulge right here. Good enough for the bees I go out with. Those look good. Little self-tapping sheet metal screws. This is basically exactly what I need. And I have, like, I don't know how many, but more than one. They build the comb right off of this. And there's a certain spacing, I'll just have to look that up. So what I want to do is coat these with beeswax. How do I do that? Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to take this block of wax. This is from my previous bees that I've had before. I mean, I don't know how they're going to feel about building off a piece of metal. It's like a ready-made aluminum top bar hive. There is a really specific spacing you are supposed to use, so I probably should look that up. Man, those holes sort of look bad. Okay, so I have some lemongrass oil here. I'm going to put that, because apparently that smells like a queen. Rub a bunch of beeswax in here to make it smell yummy. Yeah, these are just some messed up old sawhorses I don't use anyway. I'll put the entrance right next to them right there. Put some branches over this for shade. So I found the spacing in less than 2 minutes on the internet. Yay, internet. So it's 1 3/8 for brood, and it's 1 5/8 for comb, according to the quick reference I just found. So I'm just gonna mark a bunch of brood space. So there's 4 for brood space. I'm just gonna guesstimate another 1/4 inch here. Looks about right. Good enough for the bees I go out with. This is your new home, bees. You have to go in here because I worked really hard. Dang it, there's another bent one. These bees are gonna take off on me. Is our room ready yet? Let's grab a couple of rocks and put them on those corners there. So I want to put some honey on the outside here. I'll tell you, my instinct is just to pick up a handful of these guys and drop them in that hive. I just put some gloves on, and they're not even gloves, there's like holes in it and stuff, but I have a long sleeve shirt tucked in. This is gonna keep them from stinging me if I really want to. You know, at least keep them from crawling on my arms. Like if I have to brush them off, it might prevent a few stings. This might seem stupid, but I really, really doubt I'm gonna get more than like 10 or 20 stings. I used to do bee venom therapy. I've stung myself with 20 bees on purpose, so what I'm going to do is just kind of a test run to see like what it's like if I gently pick up a little handful of bees and drop them in here. Yeah, there's no one in there. I don't really care for that too much. Here we go. Oh, that feels so freaky. They kind of stick together. You kind of just, you know, jerk your hand a little and they'll tend to fall off. I'm just going to do that a couple of times and see if that prompts them to. Just going to be super slow and gentle here and try not to react if I get stung in the finger, which is challenging. Put this back and finally just leave these guys alone. Stop making all this ruckus over here. We'll see what happens. I am tempted to do one more thing, which is screw on like a little landing spot on the front there, but I think I'm gonna forego that and just let them do their thing because they're starting to show more interest. Say swarm! I got some shade on there for him, looks a little more homey. There's more and more in the front of the hive, but all I see him doing is eating honey. I'll probably keep coming and checking on them, and if like in a couple of hours or something they don't seem like they're actually moving in, I might switch plans. All right, I'm thinking about shaking those bees into the hive because they just don't seem to be taking to the hive, and I'm afraid within the next hour they're just going to fly away. I just feel like they ought to have warmed up to it by now, and I just feel like they're there for the honey and they're not really interested. So first thing I'm going to do is cut this. Okay. So I can see what bending this tree over is like, if I could possibly get it. Well, yeah, okay. Now that's looking pretty good. Maybe put some branches in there to break their fall. Bend the top over, just kind of one big hard shake that's going to get like most of the bees, like 80% of them or something in there. I'm also curious about what's going on here. I don't think, no one's going to be in here like working. See, what did I say? They're just here for the honey. You get that? Oh yeah, that's just like perfect. Okay, this is scary. Perfect setup though, really. This is so perfect. This is gonna work fine. I just need to like get out gracefully. Ready? Here we go. Oh yeah, that's just like perfect. I just need to like get out gracefully. Ready? Here we go. I got one sting, but there's probably some more in my coat, Yeah, there's one in my coat. That stinger barely got in me. It actually didn't even bother me until I squeezed it. Ooh, now it got me though. So you can see there's hardly any of them left on the tree. Quite a few fell on the ground, but it's not that many really. So I got a couple chasing me off here, but none of them went for it. Probably 80% or more of the bees are in the hive now. That turned out to be a pretty good setup. I can get like a stand out here. I'll build something and then I'll just move them. So they'll be facing this way, which is kind of like southeast, which is great, like out over that hillside. I don't know, set something up so I can monitor for bears. But chances are they're gonna settle in there now. Pretty soon they'll probably start signaling that it's time to move in there. Yeah, it looks like they are doing it. I'm gonna wait just a few minutes and then sneak in there. They put out this little gland and then they fan the gland with their wings and send out this hormone signal that's like, here we are, here's the swarm, come here and move in, basically. And then they'll start marching in, then they'll get straight to work. They're bees, that's what they do. This was like their day off, kinda. We'll come back and check them out in a minute. I just want to give them a minute to settle down, then I'll come in and set the camera up. They're kind of hitting on me a little. This little dive bomb thing, kind of harass you and buzz really loud in your face, get all up in your business. I think I'm just gonna have to pick up the camera and walk up there and get some close-ups by hand. They're a little testy though, they're not happy about me. One just landed on my face. Okay, I'm out of here. They're getting mad. I don't see a single bee on the tree anymore, and there's hardly any on the front. They're all in there. Good to have a beehive right next to my orchard here, although the bloom season's coming to an end already. Well, that was pretty cool. Fortuitous adventure project. I was actually like working on my classwork for my YouTube course. I heard the bees. I knew immediately it was a swarm. I heard them outside and I was like, oh, there's a swarm in my front yard. Sure enough, it's a big one too. That's a big old heavy swarm. Hopefully they'll stick. I think they'll stay. Find out tomorrow.